Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, let's start by taking a look at the price of Bitcoin because I'm seeing a lot of posts on social media. The top of the market is in, it's over, that's it. Bitcoin's not going higher, no alt season, right? You see a lot of these doomers posting. But as always, we don't want to be emotional about the markets. We don't want to be frustrated. We want to look at the data. What is the data telling us? And let's form our thesis. And we have to look at it holistically. We're going to look at different data points. But remember that some of the people who are posting on social media that the top is in are shorting this pullback. So a lot of the short sellers like to put the fear out there because they don't want you to buy and they want you to sell. And you got to make sure you don't fall into that trap. You don't follow their sentiment. They have to show data. If they're not showing you the data, they're just making stuff up, right? So this is where you got to put your thinking cap on and watch out for these bears who are posting bearish stuff. So Bitcoin on the daily chart, it's as I've been saying for weeks, still in a bull market. The RSI in the daily chart was overbought. So that was a major catalyst for the rollover, which makes sense, right? We've seen this time and time again. Look at the RSI in Q4. Look at the RSI in March of 2024. All the periods where it's overbought, what happens next? A correction. It's just cyclical, right? Now, there are narratives out there, tariffs and this and that, but at the end of the day, if it wasn't for the tariffs, it was still pullback because market principles, market cycles have to play out here. This is how markets work. And the same principle applies to the stock market and other assets as well. So on the daily, still good, still above the 200-day moving average. As I've always told you guys, if we are below that, nothing good happens. When we are above it, it's good. Now, on the weekly chart, still looking bullish despite the pullback. The RSI still looks solid. The MACD still in the green. Now, if it flips red, that's where I'll say, okay, let's go back to the drawing board because that was pretty short-lived. But we've seen the MACD stay in the green where the bulls have the momentum. It cools down a bit where the green starts turning from dark green to light green, and the color pattern is just how they highlight the momentum, and then it gets back to dark green again. So we've seen this story before, so don't be alarmed. The doomers out there, it's the top is in, no alt season, and people are freaking out, and I'm like, really? The data doesn't show us that. And one of the biggest drivers of all assets is global liquidity that continues to rise. Bitcoin and other assets lag global liquidity by 3 months or so. So you still see here on the chart, there's still room for upside. You can't ignore that. Look at the pattern. It's followed it really close. And I like to use on-chain data such as Bitcoin whales. What are the wallets with 10 or more Bitcoin doing? They continue to accumulate even in the face of this pullback. And that's a very good sign. They're not dumping. These are the guys that pretty much make the market move. And you look at the supply in exchanges, Bitcoin, it continues to go down. When that number is going up, they're moving the coins back on the exchanges to sell. So that's the inverse there, the correlation. So still looking bullish. The Bitcoin Pi cycle top indicator, nowhere close to flashing. The moving averages have actually deviated from each other since they got close in March of 2024 with the Bitcoin buy the rumor, sell the news event. If you recall, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high before the halving. It never did that in its history. So it was really overheated there, but it still didn't signal the top of the market. So guys, patience is a key here. We're still on track. And then when you look at the Elliott wave analysis on the total crypto market cap, shows room for upside despite showing a pullback here. Guys, it's all there in the charts and the on-chain data. I hope I'm helping some of you to understand it. Yes, we don't have a crystal ball. Yes, we can't guarantee anything, but I would rather use this than my feelings and emotions and look at the historical patterns, what's happening now, the on-chain data, and much more, even macro with global liquidity to form my thesis that we are still in a bull market and things will still continue. I've been saying this since even the tariff uncertainty crash, right? All the people that were saying it's over, it's a bear market, they've disappeared. Notice the comments are all gone, right? And I had to say that in the face of their criticism. And again, I'm telling you, it's still a bull market because all the factors are there based on data. All right, let's move ahead into some news. Elon Musk. posted today, all new XChat, talking about X, the social platform, is rolling out with encryption, vanishing messages, and the ability to send any kind of file. Also, audio slash video calling. This is built on Rust with Bitcoin style encryption. Whole new architecture. You can do audio slash video calls without a phone number across all platforms. So Elon's making progress here. Many of you may recall that he wants to make X like the WeChat, where you can do almost anything, send money and videos and calls and all that stuff, right? An all-in-one app. And we know he knows about Bitcoin. He holds Bitcoin. Tesla has Bitcoin on his balance sheet. He holds Ethereum and Dogecoin. He knows about crypto big time. He knows about payments. The man was at PayPal, of course. So we're all waiting to see what he's going to do with X. And I do believe he's going to integrate crypto and blockchain in many ways, but it's to be seen as we don't know what he's going to do. But interesting that he mentioned here Bitcoin style encryption, and it makes sense. It makes sense that he would look to use cryptography and even blockchain rails in different ways. I'm sure he's going to have stablecoin payments. It would only make sense to do that because he's building, kind of for the Web3 world, not the Web 2. Web 2, it is what it is. It already exists. So very fascinating. Whether you love or hate Elon, that's not the point, guys, because we're not going to get emotional about it. Again, you can, even if you hate Elon, you can separate yourself from that emotion and that thought and just look at the adoption that's happening and the direction the puck is heading in. And we're skating to that direction, folks. So interesting stuff here. Now, Attorney John Deaton highlighted the following nonsense from so-called economist Paul Krugman. Now, many of you know he's a Bitcoin crypto hater. He's an Elizabeth Warren worshiper. He worships at the feet of Elizabeth Warren. If you don't know, just go look up the man's writings and so forth. And he wrote an article saying digital corruption takes over DC. Time to call crypto what it is, a criminal enterprise. And, John highlighted his famous nonsense that he wrote back in the 90s that by 2005 or so, it will become clear that the internet's impact on the economy has been no greater than the fax machines. What? I tell you, these guys, man. But given this man's track record of being incredibly wrong, this is very bullish, in my opinion. It's like a contrarian signal, right? So I love it. And, some of what he wrote in his article is straight up Elizabeth Warren talking points. So he probably got his talking points from her. It wouldn't surprise me, right? Once again, the man worships Elizabeth Warren. So very bullish signal here. When guys like this come out and they're saying all kinds of negative stuff, this will die, it will be the end of crypto, it's the worst thing ever, and all that. So very interesting stuff here. Folks, quick word from our sponsor, and that is VeChain. VeChain is one of the top layer one enterprise blockchains out there. I'm a VET token holder. I have been since 2018. I'm very bullish on this project. Many businesses and enterprises around the globe are using VeChain to build Web3 and sustainability projects. VeChain is even partnered with the UFC and Dana White, where they are looking to do reward programs that are tokenized or token based for doing healthy activities and cleaning up the environment and things like that. So they're doing all types of interesting things. And they are even partnered with Boston Consulting Group, BMW, Walmart China, PwC, a lot of great brands. And some of the key features of the VeChain blockchain includes it's secure, affordable, scalable, fast, and sustainable. And as mentioned, I'm a token holder, so I'm bullish on this project. I believe in it. So if you'd like to learn more, go to vchain.org. Link will be in the description. Now, folks, last week I told you all about an ETF filer which filed for an Ethereum staking and Solana staking ETF. Well, James Seyffert of Bloomberg highlighted something here that it seems the SEC may be pushing back on this. So he said the SEC sent a letter seemingly looking to stop those staked ETH and SOL ETFs. Will be an interesting saga to watch in the coming days and weeks. Great reporting. And he called out his colleague at Bloomberg. So here's what I think is happening here. I think they may be potentially waiting for Congress to pass crypto market structure legislation. That could be one of the things that are holding them up. I think the other thing is that many of them are trying to protect the banks. Here's an example. Notice that in the stablecoin legislation, they left out yield bearing or the ability to earn yield. Why did they do that? because it would disrupt the banks. People would move their money out of the banks, right? They can't have that happening. Same thing here. If you can earn great yield, obviously higher than what you can earn in these bank savings accounts and checking accounts and so forth, you don't get anything. If you can get more money, you're going to move your money into ETH and Sol ETF and keep earning, right? Well, what would happen to the banks? Because the banks can't touch it right now. It puts them at a disadvantage. I think part of this is these regulators and the people in the government protecting the banks. And, that's a whole other conversation with how the banks are connected and to the Fed and much more and the economy. But, that's how I see it, honestly. Other than that, because I don't see any reason why you can't do it. Why can't you do it? Just put the rules out, and then these big players who are ETF issuers anyway, they're already reporting to the SEC and all the agencies, right? BlackRock, this won't be something new for them. They would just add the additional reporting. The SEC would just have to do its job to monitor it. Simple. But you got to protect JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon, right? Bank of America. And speaking of JP Morgan, look at this. JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon says US should stockpile missiles, not Bitcoin. Oh, Jamie. To the uneducated about what Jamie Dimon has done for years, they would fall for this. Yeah, more missiles. Build up the military even more, right? No Bitcoin. And I'm not against the military or anything. I'm just saying I see through Jamie's bullshit is what I'm trying to say. What did we just see JP Morgan do? They are now allowing their clients to invest in Bitcoin. They've been allowing their wealthy clients to do it for years. JP Morgan recently did a test on Ondo Finance's blockchain. Even they were working on Ethereum back in the day. This is Jamie's smoke and mirrors, right? He doesn't want you to know what's coming. He knows the United States set up a strategic Bitcoin reserve. He doesn't want you to pay attention. He's going to keep accumulating, position himself. Then he'll come back and flip the script on you. Or even if he doesn't, right? Because he knows he's the CEO of the world's largest bank. If he says Bitcoin is great, it's going to create mass FOMO, but he still continues to take these shots, right? Even though his bank is doing the opposite. So watch what they do, not what they say. So he says all this bullshit, but the bank, his own company, is doing the opposite. So Jamie Dimon, good old Jamie Dimon, right, folks? Look at this final news item. Tether CEO Paolo Ardoino says USDT increased its market cap by more than 5 billion versus its main competitor in the last 30 days. Tether continues to expand. They're still king of the hill despite the challenges they face in the EU with the MiCA regulations. And recently, I've been sharing with you guys that the CEO went on CNBC where he talked about they're going to have a big four accounting firm come in and do an audit, even though they've had an audit done by an independent auditor, but it's not one of the big fours. And they do their monthly attestation, I believe it is. So incredible that they continue to grow. And they've been doing a lot of investments, and they're partnered with Cantor Fitzgerald. So Tether's here to stay, despite the FUD you may see from a lot of people who are uneducated, I would like to say, or they're not necessarily that they're uneducated, but they are clearly biased and they have an agenda. I don't have an agenda. I just call it like it is. If Tether does something bad, I'll call it out. If Tether does something good, I'll call it out. If Tether's leading the market, I'll call it out. Or they're getting disrupted, they're losing market share, I'll call it out, right? So we want to look at things from a neutral perspective and make sure we're covering all their bases and not putting on blinders, because we're here to make money, not for games, right? And nonsense. So incredible growth by Tether here. Incredible stuff. All right, folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. A great way you can support me and the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And also my new course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that can help you learn about all aspects of crypto. So check out the links in the description to learn more. Folks, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.